Hello everyone, and welcome to today's Vox Adventures. I'm Brian Croydragon, and let's get started. I did end up getting to the northern edge of the world, out of untamed wilderness, and honestly I like that. Well, Mountain Dew Mania got our bridge made. I did suggest a bridge, the bridge, the look of the bridges in the Halloween mashup pack around Castle Dracula, only for me to realize those aren't rope bridges like she intended. How about we go east? See what we see. Alex, you're fine, kitten. Alex, what are you doing? So what can I talk about? Well, my grandma's cat Oscar died. Angela Lansbury's died too, as has Robbie Coltrane. All very sad. One was an animal who I was always happy to see. The other were two beloved actors who were in films that I very much liked. Yeah, Angela Lansbury was in a lot of things. Greatest Story Ever Told, Samson and Delilah, Sweeney Todd, The Last Unicorn, The Manchurian Candidate, some Disney movie. Yeah, I know it's Beauty and the Beast, but it's generally the bottom of her, it's the bottom of all those great movies she was in. Well, technically she voiced a character in Beauty and the Beast, as she also did in The Last Unicorn. 96, it's impressive. Her and the Queen. Queen Elizabeth II. Robbie Coltrane, unfortunately, was younger. He was 72. Look at all these mushrooms. Oh, I miss being a vampire, but I'm sure we'll be back soon. Yes, Robbie Coltrane was in many movies as well. I mean, obviously there were the Harry Potter movies, but he was also in Kenneth Branagh's Henry V as Falstaff. and he was also in Van Helsing. And of course voiced Mr. Hyde in Van Helsing the London Assignment. I might be forgetting some roles of his. Hello, doggy. I think my grandma's going to be getting a new cat. My cousin doesn't exactly have room for her cat Molly, so my grandma might be taking her, because the fact is my grandma is lonely by herself in her apartment. Oh, jeez. Alex, you're fine. Japanese knights, otherwise known as samurai. An equivalent of a knight was a samurai. Yep. Really, the Pokemon Kabuto literally gets its name from the Japanese word for helmet? Or a type of helmet, anyway. Okay, Lon. Back we go. Yeah, I apologize for referring to Beauty and the Beast as just some Disney movie, but let's face it, when it comes to Angela Lansbury's long career, I'm pretty sure that one's gonna blot out the others, so it's better to leave it at the bottom. I do enjoy it, but among my favorite adaptations of the story, I don't know. Of the ones I've seen, it's probably at the bottom. Of my favorites. I actually prefer the 2017 remake, and that's for the simple reason of returning the reason for okay, I'm honestly at a bit of a loss here. Maurice is the name he was given from the Disney animated film, but he had no, to my memory, he had no name on the original story, so what do I call him? The heroine's father? Yeah, that works, yeah. The original, for the simple reason that it actually brings back the original reason for the imprisonment of the. No, wait, he wasn't imprisoned in the original story. But it basically brings back the original reason for the heroine's father crossing the beast. A theft of a rose. Just, you know, secret hospitality and all that. And that is the reason in all of the adaptations I've seen for why the heroine's father crosses the beast. It's only in the Disney animated film that actually changes it. In every other version, it's basically because the heroine's father ends up stealing from his host. Unintentionally, of course, but still stealing. Hello. Oh, they're cute. So, camels are going to be coming to Minecraft. It makes me wonder about the Egyptian mythology pack on, Bedrock, because the llamas are camels and that. So maybe those would be like pack animals and the actual camels would be just mounts. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the warden's been added to the Norse mythology pack and the Steven Universe one, so I'm sure there'll be updates for other packs. Oh jeez. Monster Road Trip is going to be released on the 21st. Third game in the Monster Prom series. Alex, you're fine. Hey! It's supposed to be raining today. Weather said expect rain around 11. You're fine. For the first time I got to play Dragons and Ladders last night, and it was wonderful. Fun, intense. It was a lot of fun. Sort of a Dungeons and Dragons themed Snakes and Ladders, but not exactly. It doesn't have the Dungeons and Dragons logo on it. But that's still kind of what it's like. There are monsters, powers, heroes. I was a barbarian, and my friends were a thief and a sorceress. I ended up winning through sheer luck. I didn't even use any of my power cards. We played the day side of the board. Next time I'll do the night side. It's gonna be a way up, right? Maybe here. Yeah, another thing about the well, not just the Disney Beauty and the Beast films, but basically any film following the Jean Cocteau version, and that's basically a lot of them since there's been other adaptations since 1946. Uh, is that when there's a rival suitor for the heroine's hand, that was introduced back in 1946 in the Jean Cocteau film with the character of Avenant. Avenant? Can't really remember the pronunciation, but I don't know. It just feels kind of like the rival suitors a lot of the rival suitors since then, if there is one, are kind of poor man version substitutes for the original. Never really thought about that. Due to the damp climate in Japan, samurai armor had been lacquered to stop it from rusting. More than 60 knights killed in a tourney. That's interesting. Yes, Alex. Yes. Yes. Yeah, going back to that, uh, poor man's, substitute point, it's not just that, it was really quite a novel idea for the Jean Cocteau film, but with every imitator that came, but with every later adaptation that came after, it just kind of feels gratuitous to have a rival suitor. Yeah, honestly, I like the rival suitor in the Henry Fairy Tale Theater episodes because That's what exactly happened. Because let's look at the base model. Avalon becomes the villain of the story. He goes to kill the beast and rob the castle. He dies. Let's look at the Disney film. The Disney films. Gaston, what happens? He becomes the villain. He goes to kill the beast. He dies. And both in very different ways, they become beasts. In the case of Gaston, it's very figurative. But in the case of Avalon, he actually gets shot by an arrow from a statue of the goddess Diana, and well, he becomes a beast in death, not in life. And it's immediately at that point where the dying beast regains human form, and yeah, that's where the happy ending begins. But the Fairy Tale Theater episode, while basically being a remake of the Jean Cocteau film, not that I can remember the suitor's name, but he doesn't end up becoming a villain. He doesn't die. He's... Yes, Alex? You're fine. Yeah, it's probably because Roswell Suitor's so different that I actually like him more than Gaston, because yeah, he pretty much stands out. Gaston pretty much just follows the baseline with no difference. I mean, yeah, there are some differences, but it still becomes a villain, goes off to kill the beast. Oh, for God's sake, did I just end up in here with no way out? Yeah, he's kind of a jerk early in the film, but still, he goes from jerk to villain and goes off to kill the beast, so yeah, he basically just follows the template that Avalon that was created with Avalon. And in some way he becomes a beast. It's just... when you think about it, there's really nothing different about him. Now, you could make the argument that due to the Fairy Tale Theater episode basically being a compressed remake of the Jean Cocteau film, because it only had an hour's time slot, you can make the argument that it's... due to the running time, the Wyvern Suitor and that doesn't really have any chance to follow the template, but still, it basically makes him stand out because he doesn't become a villain, he doesn't go off to kill a beast, he doesn't become a beast, be it literally or figuratively. He's basically his own. Sure, he's a rival sooner, but he's still more original. Oh, jeez. Damn it. Yeah, that really does. Yeah, that's basically it. I've pretty much made my point. Gaston basically follows the template, and there's nothing new about him. Yes, Alex, because the Wyvern Suitor from the Fairy Tale Theater episode doesn't really get the chance to follow the template. Hey. Yeah, because he doesn't really get to follow the template, he's more or less, he more or less stands out. Where are we even going? Are we still going east anymore? I don't think I've never been here before. You're fine. Honestly, that point I made about rival suitors in Beauty and the Beast adaptations, it's basically the course for any imitations of such things. It's added in, then just it's added in one time, then you know it's an awful idea the first time, not so much the second, or not so much the other times. Yeah, that's pretty much the way it is. Yes, Alex. No, I don't want to turn on the sticky keys. Alex, get off the book. Yeah, another example I can think of. Keeping Esmeralda alive at the end of a lot of adaptations of The Hunchback of Notre Dame or Notre Dame de Paris, whichever not pronunciation, whichever title you refer to it as. It was really quite novel in the opera adaptation that Victor Hugo himself wrote. La Esmeralda, I believe it's called. Because here's the twist. Yes, she's still alive at the end. Yes, she's been exonerated. But Phoebus died not long after exonerating her, and Esmeralda has sworn to follow him, meaning she's going to take her own life so she and Phoebus can be together in death. And that's basically where it ends. A lot of people refer to it as a happy ending, but yeah, when you actually stop and think, it really isn't. Yeah, so basically the story basically just stops, just ends there, and it's pretty clear that, yeah, Esmeralda's gonna kill herself. All the other times when Esmeralda is kept alive, it's just for the sake of a happy ending or a bittersweet ending. And this is why I really commend the Disney stage adaptation of their film, which is actually has more in common with the original book, is in that Esmeralda does actually die at the end. Yeah, I really commend them for that, especially after they had spared her in the animated film, and I can only hope with the remake they've got the guts to actually kill her off there too. Who knows, maybe they'll kill off Phoebus also. Yeah, why do I say this? Because here's the interesting thing. The Disney animated film is essentially an animated remake of the 1939 film, which was of course live action, so yeah, it's getting kind of weird. With Disney doing live action remakes, of course they're going to they probably are going to be doing a live action remake of Hunchback of Notre Dame, but here's the weird thing. It's going to be a live action remake of an animated remake of a live action film. How long until that one ends up getting an animated remake? But yeah, Phoebus actually died in the 1939 film. Yeah, he didn't die in the original book, but as I mentioned with the opera, which Victor Hugo himself wrote, he did die there as well. Actually, let me take that back. I'm hoping Phoebus doesn't die, because Phoebus's death actually... Phoebus's death in the original, in the opera, actually contributed to the ending. As I said, he exonerates Esmeralda, then he dies of his wounds, and yeah, it's pretty good. The 1939 film, I can see no other reason for killing him off, especially since no other screen adaptation has done it, than to overshadow the previous adaptation, which had been done in 1923. It's especially weird since no other adaptation has killed off Phoebus. It's basically kept to the book with him surviving. Except for the 1997 film, which, although it's one of my favorites, it basically demotes him in terms of importance. So he's not a victim of a stabbing, and the actual victim does actually die. Yes, Alex? What other examples can I use? I don't know. I can't think of some in terms of The Last of the Mohicans and The Last of the Mohicans, but doesn't really... let's face it, what happened there wasn't exactly novel, and it doesn't really do anything. Oh. Oh, it's night time. Yeah, 1936 film, they just switched Cora and Alice's hair colors, and we'll get back from this subject later. Website listing Renaissance fairs across the country. Okay, but which country? Yeah, back to that last of the Mohicans bit. 1936, the 1936 adaptation, Cora and Alice Monroe, paternal half-sisters, actually ended up switching hair color. With Cora becoming blonde and Alice becoming a brunette. It really had no real purpose. Other than going for the whole heart of gold thing. I don't know, some stupid idea that because she has a heart of gold, she should be the one with the blonde hair. I don't know, it really makes no sense. So it may have contributed to the idea for the 1975 Hanna-Barbera special, and to just have Alice be Uncas's love interest and have Cora be Duncan Hayward's. So fast forward to the 1992 film, and you have Duncan as a suitor of Cora, and yes, Alice is the love interest of Uncas. And of course, for the 1992 film being a remake of the 1936 film, Cora ends up with Hawkeye. I don't know, it's not really, there's nothing really novel about it, it just ends up changing who ends up with who, basically. goodness sake. I don't know, it's just something that was imitated and serves no real purpose. No real purpose. I don't know, that basically seems to be... Yeah, there are weird changes and adaptations that really serve no real purpose, like a name... Well, yeah, typically a name change doesn't really serve any purpose, but there was one case where it really did. Yeah, the Princess and the Goblin. In the original story, the titular villainous goblin is named Hairlip, a real type of deformity. And please, for God's sake, do not look it up. In the animated film, which was made in the 90s, and featured Rick Mayall as our antagonist, the character was renamed Froglip, which thankfully isn't the name of an actual deformity. So yeah, that's an example of a name change that actually served an actual purpose. And another one that actually serves a purpose would be changes of nationality for characters or ethnicity. Where does this bring us? I'm not trying to place blocks. What the hell? What's the block? Me? No, forget it. Yeah, and it's just sometimes changes that make no real sense when it comes to adapting something. and name changes are really high up on the list. Like in the Vikings, the Kirk Douglas film, changing the names of Eric. Changing the names of Ogier and Hasting to Eric and Einar. What's the point of that? From Ogier to Eric and from Hasting to Einar. What's the point? There is none. Especially since Ogier was none other than Ogier le Dane. I don't know, it's just what even is the point? Of such things. Or in Greystoke, the Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes. Why change Storno's given name from Paul to Philippe? Philip? Yeah, like I know the pronunciation. It's just, why? Oh, and on the subject of Disney films and name changes, no, it's actually quite unusual, but there was a Grand Vizier to Harun al-Rashid named Jafar, two F's. So he ended up being villainized to some extent. And he basically became the template of evil viziers, even though he was quite a good man himself. And this actually started with the 1940 film The Thief of Baghdad, which said it had to do with the grandson of Harun al-Rashid. Yeah, that Jafar must have been a descendant of the original as well. It must have been a descendant of the original. Yeah, it kept the two F's, but then you go over to Disney and their basic villainization of the man, and they drop an F. What the hell? What's even the point of that? It goes from Jafar to Jafar. Why drop an F? What's the point? I don't know. It's something that I can't make sense of. You're fine, Alex. Excuse me. You're fine. Here's my little kitten. Don't. Careful with the microphone. Yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. Like, yeah, but the genuine question is of why drop an F? I don't know, maybe the screenwriters at Disney misspelled the name and they never realized it. I mean, that's probably the case. You know, there was a camel at the Toronto Zoo named Jafar. Oh, he's probably long dead by now. He was there when I was a child. Temperamental old thing. At least from what I saw of him. And that was through Zoo Diaries, a television show. Yeah, he'd pretty much just spit at his keeper. Yeah, if I get a... Yeah, when camels come, I'm gonna name a camel Jafar. Oh, for God's sake. Well, this is it. Guess this is how I die. Or not. Yeah, we're probably gonna need snowshoes added at some point. I don't know if you can name any more pointless changes. I don't consider race lifts pointless changes, or a character not looking as they are described. It's basically, if an actor is good enough, that's it. I don't consider those pointless changes. It's just casting the best actor from the part, but if you can name a rather pointless change in an adaptation, tell me. I'd like to hear your opinions. Of course, this doesn't go under pointless changes, but the Vikings, the character of Sandpiper, and he's played by a black actor, and I'm pretty sure this isn't an actual case of ability over appearance. I'm pretty sure this is a case of those who read the book misunderstanding the term Moor. Because he's in the book, he's supposed to come from the Moors of Cornwall, not the ethnicity. So yeah, that's a pretty weird change that I'm pretty sure came from the scriptwriter's misunderstanding. Anyway, that's all for today. I'm Brian Croydragon signing out. Stay straight.